We are going to review chapter 10, but to do it, there's some stuff in here we have not seen since we were in an actual classroom at Veritas. And so I want to make sure that we review some of this theory and know it very well. This whole chapter is on quadratic functions and solving them in 4 ways: in graphing, factoring, which we did last chapter, square roots, completing a square, and quadratic formula. The whole point is to solve to find out those x-intercepts. But let's go over some of the theory because you need to know how to solve these things. I'm going to draw maybe just one big graph because I want to fit a lot of things on it. One, two, three, four, -1, -2, -3, -4, 1, 2, 3, 4, -2. Okay. And I'm going to talk about the basic parent function of the quadratic equation. Y equals x squared. This is the parent function. Okay. Now the parent function is the function which occurs when y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. When these portions of the function are zeroed out, b equals 0, c equals 0, and where a equals 1. It's the very, very simplest function you can have. And when we did this function, when we graphed it, if you remember, if x is 0, y is 0. If x is 1, y is 1. If x is -1, y is also 1. If x is 2, y is 4. And if x is -2, y is also 4. So when we graph it, we get 0, 1, 1, -1, 1, 2, 4, and -2, 4. And here is our parent function parabola. Y equals x squared when a equals 1. Now, we want to look at what happens when a is greater than 1. And we did this before, so I'm not going to go over it in too much detail. But when a is greater than 1, you get a stretch. At the same time, when you have a parabola that looks more like that, when it's still greater than 0, but it's less than 1, because 1 is here. And this is going to be called a shrink compared to the parent function. Now, the other thing that can happen, and I'll just do this in brown. I knew I was going to need -3, -4 down here. This is equal y equals -x squared. So it's the exact same thing as the parent function with just a negative in front. So here a equals -1. And this is called reflection. Now at this point in time, we haven't done anything yet with the function. We are just defining what it looks like. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to put c in and do ax squared plus c, which was the topic of 10.1. So this has been just the general introduction, okay? And we're now going to go into 10.1. And in part 10.1, just reviewing that part, we're going to talk about what happens when you add c into the parent function. And when you do that, we learned that if I graphed, and I'll go over this very quickly because you've seen it before and you basically know this material. So here's my parent function again. I forgot to label 4. Here's the same parent function I drew on the last page. This is y equals x squared. If I somehow decide to have a function that says y equals x squared plus 1, this function will literally just go up by 1, but it will be the same shape because the a value hasn't changed. And so this is going to be the exact same thing, but it's not a stretch or a shrink. It is a vertical translation by 1 unit. So this green function here is going to be a vertical translation by 1 unit. It's going up by 1. And if I had the same function y equals x squared minus 1, it would be the same thing, just down here, same shape and all that, and be a vertical translation. And I forgot to put the key word up here, up, because this one is down by 1 unit. And so that is what happens when you add c to the graph. So that, and in this situation, I'm just going to do number 6 of the review. When I have y equals 1/3 x squared, and I'm told I need to graph it and compare it to the parent function. When x is 0, y is 1/9, right? Sorry, 1/3. 1/3. And when x is, let's see, I'll do 3 to make my life easier. 3 squared is 9, divided by 3 is 3. Y is 3. When x is -3, I will get the same answer. So I'm going to draw my parent function in again. This is y equals x squared again. This other function that I've drawn over here is going to be 0, 1/3, and then 3, 3. And you can see that this is a y equals 1/3 x squared is a vertical shrink compared to the parent function. Now, if I decided to do the same function, but y equals 1/3 x squared minus 1, it would be the same exact shape as this one, vertical shrink with vertical translation down 1 unit. And that covers really all that you need to do up to lesson 10.1. I'm going to now go through 10.2 and 10.3 very quickly.